Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. I recently made a video about my favorite division templates. If you haven't watched it yet, you can find the link up here as usual. And today it is time to talk about my favorite tank designs. These designs are going to integrate those templates perfectly, and I found them to be extremely effective. I will link in the description some videos where you can see them in action. For today we are going to talk about the designs themselves. Now, a while ago I made another video about tank designs, and on that occasion I focused on breakthrough the most, so those designs were breakthrough oriented. Since then I actually changed my mind, and I now think that soft attack is actually the most important stat for tanks. That being said, same as when we talked about division templates, it is very hard to say that one design in particular is the best, because one of the great things about Hearts of Iron 4 is that you can play this game in different ways, and depending on your playstyle, different things are going to work best for you. Now, for the way I use tanks, soft attack oriented tanks perform the best for me. Keep in mind a couple more things. These tanks are single player oriented, and I assume that you will play the game on regular difficulty. For higher difficulties, stats like armor and breakthrough gain more value, and when you play multiplayer, stats like hard attack and piercing gain more value, so depending on the situation, you may want to use different designs. Now, say that you just open Hearts of Iron, you're playing the game as it is normally in single player on regular difficulty. These are the tanks that are going to perform the best for you, in my opinion. Okay, so let's start with my first design. This is the Panzer I, and this is the design I usually try to make for World War II. Now, I made a video about the most important stats for tanks. Again, I will post a link up here in case you want to watch it, but very briefly, I value speed. I always want to have a speed of 8 km per hour on my tanks. I want to have fairly high reliability, not to lose too many tanks to attrition. As I said, we are going to focus mostly on soft attack, so out of all of these stats, soft attack is going to be the most important. And later on, I will show you some variants with more armor, but overall, with the first tank design, I only want about 40 armor. So how do we get to these stats? We are going to use the medium howitzer for the extra soft attack. We are going to use the 3-man turret. We are going to use the basic radio. No need to go for the level 3 radio, the advanced radio or improved radio. Because we do not need the extra breakthrough. Especially if you go for mobile warfare, you're going to get enough breakthrough bonuses not to need the extra breakthrough, at least on regular difficulty. Then we're going to use 2 heavy machine guns to maximize the soft attack. And finally, very important, we are going to use the easy maintenance module in order to increase our reliability, bring it around 80%. And then also decrease the production costs and leave it down to about 10. If you do not have access to the easy maintenance module, you can also use the wet ammunition storage for the extra reliability. Do keep in mind that if you use the wet ammunition storage, you're going to have a bit more reliability, but the production cost is going to be a bit higher. Now, the design that I just showed you is the one that I usually use for my early 33 combat with division templates for tanks. Now, this design is so good that you could basically keep it until the end of the game. One thing you can do is you could change, once you unlock it, the medium howitzer into the improved medium howitzer. And of course, always make sure to match the speed. Maybe something like this. Okay, so with this design, you could really go all the way into the late game. The reliability is still about 80%. The soft attack is very good. Almost 10 more. Actually, 10 more, I think. 10.5, there it is. And you got overall very good stats. If you feel like you can invest a bit more, you have the economy to invest a bit more, then you can make my Panzer II design. This has even a higher soft attack due to the fact that we are starting to use small cannons instead of the heavy machine guns. We're also using the improved radio, or the advanced radio, sorry, in order to maximize our breakthrough. So the breakthrough stats on these tanks will also be very good. As you can see, the production cost is a bit higher, but if you can afford it, why not? The reliability is also a bit higher, thanks to the fact that we're using the improved medium tank chassis. At this point of the game, I would also start using SPGs, and this is my basic SPG design. This is the one that I would use for most of the game. As you can see, it has insane soft attack, and that's the great value of SPGs. Thanks to the fact that this is an SPG, despite it being a medium tank, we can use the heavy howitzer, which gives insane soft attack. Of course, we need to use the medium fixed superstructure in order to use the heavy howitzer. We're going to use the heavy machine guns for maximum soft attack, and then 2 additional machine guns for even higher soft attack. I also increased the armor a little bit on this one, but that's not absolutely mandatory. Moreover, you could also use the easy maintenance if you wanted to save a bit on production cost. As you can see, the soft attack doesn't change that much, and the production cost decreases fairly significantly, I would say. So the easy maintenance module is definitely a viable option for the last module up here. Now, these SPs and my Panzer II are what I usually use once I make my Panzer plus SPGs, 33 combat with divisions. So I use these templates with 7 medium tanks and 3 SPGs, and the rest motorized, 5 motorized or mechanized infantry. There is no really need to change these designs anymore, but I also designed an alternative Panzer II version. This one is actually armored, so in case you value armor a bit more, if you have a very strong economy, if you just don't care about the production cost but you want to have armor on your tanks, then you can use this design instead. This sacrifices a little bit of soft attack, but gains a lot in terms of armor. And of course, a lot of production costs as well. Once you get to the very late game, if you want, you can switch to modern tanks. Modern tanks allow you to have insane soft attack and insane armor. But as we said, that's not really needed, so this is more like for fun, it's for the memes. You don't need to make these tanks. Of course, these tanks are very good, and of course, these tanks are extremely expensive as well. That being said, very good reliability, very good hardness, armor, soft attack, so they have everything you may want from a tank. At this point, if you make these tanks, you may as well go for my Endgame SPGs, which are basically the same as the previous design, but with a lot of extra armor. If you make these designs, you can use them in my 33 combat with modern armored divisions. Very last thing before we stop, I actually made a dedicated video to flame tanks, explaining why they are worth it, why they are so good. But this is the design I usually use with my flame tanks. Now, you could remove all of the fuel drums if you think they are not needed. That would make the design a bit cheaper. That being said, you only need 1 or 2 factories on these flame tanks because it's a support company, so you don't need that many. And by adding the fuel drums, you gain a lot of extra fuel capacity on your templates, which allow your tanks to push a lot more, a lot further into the enemy territories. So in my opinion, having the extra fuel drums, it's definitely worth it. Okay guys, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That would greatly help with its growth. Other than that, of course, feel free to let me know your opinion in the comments down below. Let me know if you like these designs or what you would do differently if you disagree with me. Of course, that's always valuable. Thanks to your feedback, I keep improving my designs and come up with new ideas. So absolutely, by all means, feel free to do that. And well, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!